Hey guys, in today's video, I am going to be making my friend Lauren's granola recipe. This is a soaked granola. It's very easy to adapt. If you wanted it to be gluten-free, you could totally do that. It's actually written as a gluten-free recipe. I just don't buy gluten-free oats because we don't have a gluten sensitivity. So I just get regular oats and it's fine for us. But if you need them to be gluten-free, absolutely, you can easily make this that way. And if you needed it to be dairy-free, you could probably sub out the yogurt, but we will talk a little bit more about substitutions and tweaking the recipe as we get into it. So without any further ado, let's dive on in. This is a video that several of you requested on one of my unboxing videos when I mentioned that I was ordering some things for my granola recipe, and it would be wrong to call it my granola recipe. It's really a granola recipe I make a lot on a regular basis, but it is not mine, it is my friend Lauren's. So let's go ahead and dive on in. Last night, I went ahead and got some things prepared because it is a soaked granola, and so that means that the grains are properly broken down. And also, I halved the recipe. Lauren has 5 kids, and so they go through a lot more granola than my husband and I do. And a half a recipe still makes a whole lot of granola. So this is 6 cups of rolled oats, 2 cups of brown rice flour. And the way I do brown rice flour is I don't buy anything extra. I have brown rice and I put it in our coffee grinder and I grind up the flour and then put it in here. So easy peasy, no need to go out and buy something extra if you already have brown rice. So there are 2 cups of brown rice flour in here. There's also some cinnamon and some ginger, ground ginger in here, and a cup of the ground ginger in here, and a cup of yogurt. And that is what is soaking in here. Oh, and some sea salt. And I mixed it up really well. You want to let that soak for at least 7 hours, anywhere up to 24 hours. And I just covered it and had it going all overnight. It has been soaking, let's see, it's about 5 o'clock now, and I think I finished this around midnight. So it's been going for, let's see, 12 and 5 is 17 hours-ish. I was hoping to get to it earlier, but that's such is life. Okay, so we've got this already soaked. The other thing that I like to soak, the recipe calls for, if you're doing the half recipe, 2 cups of nuts, right? Yeah. 2 cups of nuts or seeds, and you can do any nuts or seeds of your choice. I have some truly raw almonds and some truly raw almonds and some walnuts on hand. And so I soaked those last night as well, and they're over here draining. But I had those soaking overnight as well because in order to properly and easily digest your grains and your nuts, you want to be sure that you are soaking or sprouting them. There is a naturally occurring chemical or constituent, whatever you want to call it, in nuts and seeds that is called phytic acid. Phytic acid is an enzyme inhibitor. And so what that means is it prohibits enzyme activity in your body, which is what your body needs to digest and absorb nutrients. It also leaches minerals from the body. Now, there's phytic acid naturally in these because it prevents the nut or the grain, which is the seed of the plant, from sprouting just all the time without water. So when you get the water going, then it inhibits that phytic acid. It allows the nut or seed or grain to sprout, and then you get your growth in nature. But when it's not time for it yet, the phytic acid keeps it from growing at times when it wouldn't grow well. So God put that in there as a great thing. However, it's very hard on our bodies if we don't soak them, but all you have to do is soak them. That also activates enzymes in there as well. So it not only removes the enzyme inhibitor, but it increases the enzymes in the food, which makes them living and nourishing for the body. You will also notice that if you have almonds and you don't normally like the taste of almonds because they're slightly bitter, if you don't like them raw, when you soak them, what's bitter is the phytic acid. So when you deactivate that, you're actually getting a little bit of a sweeter nut without adding without adding any extra sugar. So that's an extra bonus. Okay, so we've got our nuts, our seeds. It's super easy, super simple to get this prepared the night before. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump. I have had these draining and rinsed the nuts. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump those in here. Because basically all you're gonna do is stir everything together. So we've got 2 cups of nuts, again, for the half recipe. Then coconut oil. You will want to melt this if you have any nut sensitivities and you want to swap out another really high quality fat. I'm sure you could do that. I am going to grab a spoon. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and add our coconut oil. It is not melted, but you can see it's liquidy. So it's not fully melted, but it's been 97 degrees. Where did my cup go? Oh, I pulled it out. Oh, here it is. Okay. So I went ahead, in the winter, I will go ahead and actually go ahead and put this on low heat and melt it because you want it to be able to coat all of the granola and the ingredients you're putting in there. And you can't do that if it's solid. But if yours is already kind of like mine, like this, it'll be fine. You can go ahead and put it in a pot. We do not use a microwave in our home at all. So let's see, that's about a cup. I need a cup of this, right? Double check my recipe. Yes. So I'm doing a half recipe. I want a full cup of this stuff. I could probably pour it and that would be faster. But I try to be intentional when I cook and not make a bigger mess than when I started. But that means I go a little slower. Okay, so we have now our cup of coconut oil mixed in here. And then, I don't need this spoon for anything, right? No. Don't waste the coconut oil. So nutritious for you. Okay, so I'm gonna put that back up here. Then we're going to add 1 tablespoon, again, for the half recipe, 1 tablespoon of flax seed. And you want it to be ground. I started grinding it. I didn't get it very far. Let me try that again. Just grind it in my coffee/spice grinder. There we go. Fresh ground is best if you can, so we buy whole flax seeds. Because if I'm adding them to a smoothie or whatever, in the Vitamix, they're gonna get ground that way and I don't have to have them pre-ground. And then for things like granola, it's really easy to grind them quickly in the grinder. All right, so we've got that. Then I want a tablespoon of chia seeds. You could add whatever seeds, nuts you guys like, amp up the nutrition. I did try soaking. A lot of times I will soak seeds as well. I did try soaking the chia seeds one time when I made this. I don't really recommend it. It made it a lot harder to work with because they get gelatinous when you soak them, so they're pretty easily digested this way. And then I'm gonna do 1 cup, excuse me, 1 cup of really good quality maple syrup. I get mine from Azure Standard. This is fantastic. It's the grade A dark robust, which used to be called grade B, and it was really high in, it is. This grade is very, very high in minerals, and it's not quite as processed as the other. So you will notice it is dark and really flavorful. I'm gonna do 1 cup of that. You could do raw honey instead if you wanted. But I'm about to make us some more elderberry syrup here in a couple days, and I need that honey. All right, let's see, let's grab. Now I'm gonna grab the big sponge. So we'll use this. So we've added our maple syrup, our coconut oil. Then we want 1 tablespoon of vanilla. Vanilla extract here. Again, you want a good quality vanilla. And you can measure exact if you want, or you can be like me and not want to dirty as many dishes. Okay, so we estimate there. And then I'm gonna do a cup of chipped coconut. I buy ours again from Azure Standard because I can get enough to put in these buckets. And it's, I found, more economical to do it that way. Plus then, when you buy a bag of coconut, you know, you don't get that much in a bag. Then you have to buy a whole bunch of bags. I'd rather just have one like this. All right, we're gonna do 1 cup. I don't know why I just measured that. Instead of tossing in a giant handful would work too. And then my secret ingredient is cinnamon bark vitality oil from Young Living. It's not my secret ingredient, it's the secret ingredient. Again, this is my friend Lauren's recipe. Okay, so I'm gonna do at least 5 drops. I like a lot of cinnamon, so I just kind of don't really count and shake it several times. But you do you on that. Then you're going to mix it all together. Let me move my coconut. You're just gonna stir it all together. I mean, this does not take any special technique, friends. Uh-oh. My husband's coming while I'm recording a video.
Oh.
I'm almost done.
Okay.
And once you get it all coated, you want to make sure you're getting that coconut oil really mixed in, and the cinnamon bark, all your flavors, everything just really well mixed. I could almost add some more coconut. Y'all, you do, again, tweak it as much as you want. I think I'm going to keep the coconut low on this batch just because one of the reasons I'm making this right now is, one, I love having granola on hand because it's an easy snack. It makes for a quick breakfast on days that I haven't gotten a breakfast casserole or anything together, because I am not a morning person, friends. So I try to do my best to get breakfast prepared for my husband. He wakes up before me, so I like to have easy things that he can just heat up or have on hand. But we have a ton of fresh peaches from the western slope of Colorado. And y'all, I grew up in Georgia, the peach state. I always liked South Carolina peaches better. Don't tell Georgia. But you have not had a real peach until you have had one from the western slope of Colorado. Paonia, Palisade, best peaches ever. So we have a whole bunch of organic Paonia peaches, sorry. We are part of a fruit share with our CSA. And I have been wanting just some yogurt and peaches in the morning, and I'm like, oh, with a little bit of granola sprinkled over. So don't need a lot of coconut for that. Then you are going to put this on to cookie sheets. Oh, I meant to have my oven preheat. Let's go ahead and get that going. You want your oven around 250 for this because you want to kind of a little bit more than dehydrate it, but not roast it or anything. Now you can line these with parchment paper if you want, or you can be like me and just put a soap pad on there because you don't want to deal with the parchment paper. I have 2 soap pads and that would be perfect for this, except I had to retrieve these pans. When I went to start making this, I realized, oh shoot, I have all of our einkorn berries that I sprouted dehydrating on my cookie sheet and my one 9x13 pan. I need to get another 9x13 pan. It is fantastic for making granola, for dehydrating, all the things, you know, breakfast casseroles. So I really need to get another one, but we make do right now. So you're just gonna spread out your granola into a layer on your cookie sheet or baking pan or whatever you are using. You don't want it to be too thick, but it also doesn't have to be crazy. Once you get this on here, you are not going to stir it or anything while it is cooking. So it's an easy set and forget. Just make sure you set a timer so you don't forget. If anybody else used to watch Rachel Ray's 30-minute meals, like when they first started on the Food Network years ago, I loved them. And I remember she used to say her favorite utensil were the ones that God gave her on her hands. I'm like, yes, I do that a lot too. So if you get tired of your spatula and you really just want to use your hands, you have full permission to do so. I told you, this makes a lot of granola. And it's great because you can make a big batch and then just put it in a big glass container or a big plastic container, depending on what you have at home. And you have a lot on hand to eat plain, with some raw milk, with some yogurt or kefir, on ice cream, however you like your granola. How do you like your granola? Let me know your favorite way to eat granola in the comments. Okay, finally, we have it all here. So we're gonna pretend like our oven's preheated and I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. I don't always wait for it to fully preheat when it's something like this that you're really just more drying out. Now you want to cook these anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on how long it takes to dry them out. And you want it to be golden. Don't overcook it. It will burn. It doesn't taste good. I have done that. But just keep an eye on it. Check it. If it's not quite ready at an hour, then let it go a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on in, and I will show you a final result when we take it out.
All right, here's the finished granola. It is a lightly browned and it has been sitting out for a little bit now and is completely cool. So once it is cool, you will see that it is nice and crunchy without being overly so, and just the right texture. Then all that's left is to put your granola into your storage containers. These are my temporary ones until I have some more clean in the morning. And enjoy!